What's going on, Sports Wars? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost and GeeksGamers.com. And ever since it was revealed that Aaron Rodgers is not vaccinated, the mainstream sports media has been set out to absolutely destroy him, going so far as for some people to say they're not going to vote for him for MVP because of all the other issues. And now Aaron Rodgers is clapping back and slamming that person publicly. You can see the headline by Bobby Burak. Good to see Aaron Rodgers slam most valuable vaccinated player voter. And this is all stemming from this original story just a few days ago. NFL MVP voter has decided Aaron Rodgers isn't the MVP because, quote, he's a bad guy. And this is a guy named Hub Arkush. Hub Arkush, I don't really know who this person is. Arkush, don't really know. But I do know that he was doing an interview with the Score 670, a local Chicago station that I'm pretty well familiar with. And he said some things about Aaron Rodgers that got a lot of people talking. He says this: Arkush is going to punish Rodgers by withholding his MVP vote. And ominously, he says there's going to be an anonymous group of voters who may join him. I can guarantee you I will not be the only one not voting for him. And then he says this is the quote: I don't think you could be the biggest jerk in the league and punish your team and your organization and your fan base the way he did and be the most valuable player. Has he been most valuable on the field? Yeah, you can make that argument, but I don't think he's clearly that much more valuable than Jonathan Taylor or Cooper Kupp or Tom Brady. From where I sit, the rest of it is why he's not going to be made my choice. Do I think he's going to win it? Probably. A lot of voters don't approach it that way that I do, but others do who I've spoken to. Well, now Aaron Rodgers has clapped back on those comments. Let's take a listen. This was yesterday. Would have covered it earlier if Antonio Brown's story hadn't been so absolutely crazy. But here you go from Will Kane. He tweets this out.
Think of one of the 50 voters coming out and saying yesterday, quote, I don't think you can be the biggest jerk in the league and punish your team and your organization and your fan base the way he did and be the MVP. I think he's a bad guy, and I don't think a bad guy can be the MVP at the same time.
I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum. He doesn't know me. I don't know who he is. No one knew who he was probably until yesterday's comments. But, I mean, and I listened to the comments, but to say he had his mind made up in the summertime, in the off season, that, you know, I had zero chance of winning MVP, in my opinion, should exclude, you know, future votes.
Now, and before we get into that, he said he had his mind made up in the summer and all this stuff. It's important to note that in this person's comments, he didn't necessarily mention anything about being vaccinated. I actually, when you read into the comments a little bit, I think he was more referring to a lot of the off-field stuff that happened in the offseason. Aaron Rodgers, famously, we talked about a lot on this channel, held out through a lot of training camp, was kind of holding the Green Bay Packers hostage in a big way. Him and Devontae Adams with the pictures of Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, like all this stuff was going on before the Aaron Rodgers vaccination story broke. Now, with that being said, I certainly think that the vax story is in the back of a lot of mainstream media members' head. However, that's not the reason that he used. And even when he said, you know, punish a fan base, I think that's what he's talking about. But we know what everyone's going to make this all about and what Aaron Rodgers, of course, is going to make this about.
You know, his problem isn't with me being a bad guy or the biggest jerk in the league. Because he doesn't know me. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know anything about me. I mean, I've never met him. I've never had lunch with him. I've never had an interview with him. His problem is I'm not vaccinated. You know, so if he wants to go on a crusade and collude and come up with an extra letter to put on the award just for this season and make it the most valuable vaccinated player, then he should do that. But he's a bum, and I'm not going to waste any time worrying about that stuff. He has no idea who I am. He's never talked to me in his life. But it's unfortunate that those sentiments. It's surprising that he would even say that, to be honest. But, yeah, I knew this was possible. Talked about it on McAfee weeks ago. But crazy.
So there you go. There's Aaron Rodgers' comments on the MVP voter. Says he's not voting for him because he's a, quote, bad guy. Like I said, I think there's a lot to read into, and if you actually look into the comments some more, I think there's an argument to be made whether he's talking about the vax status or whether he's just talking about all the other off-field issues that Aaron Rodgers had. And of course, by issues, I just mean, you know, not knowing whether he's going to come back, being very coy about it, going on Jeopardy, all these things while his teammates were there working. I personally thought that that was going to have a way bigger impact than it did. I thought the locker room was going to be a mess. I didn't think they were going to all be on the same page. And we saw the Packers struggle maybe like the first 2 weeks. And then after that, they've been the most consistent team in football. You can't really argue with that. And Aaron Rodgers has been one of the best players in football this year. But there is going to be some people in the media that, whether it's because of that, whether it's because of the vax, they're going to hold it against him. And that should not happen. It should be all about what he's doing on the field. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.